Hello my friends, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the latest and greatest version of Komorebi, the tiling window manager for Windows, which is written in the Rust programming language. Before we get started today, I have a little public service announcement, and that is to make sure you update your Komorebi application-specific configuration file regularly. The way to do that is to run komorebic fetch-asc, and it will grab the latest version of this file, which contains so many fixes for so many applications that behave badly on Windows. 2,579 lines of configuration fixes. When you run the quick start, it grabs the latest version of this file at the time, but this repo sees quite a lot of updates, and whenever somebody finds an app that is behaving badly, they're encouraged to submit a fix, and that's why over time Komorebi just works with more and more applications. So to make sure you have the latest version of the fixes, just run this every time you update Komorebi and make sure you have the latest, and you'll have an even better experience than I hope you're having now with Komorebi. So the latest release, why don't we get on into the latest release? It is version 0.1.32, and I guess the biggest thing about this release, I guess it's not tied to this release, it just happened to turn out this way, is that commercial use licensing is now available. I'm going to give you all a really quick primer on Komorebi licensing. So, Komorebi is published under the Komorebi 1.0.0 license, which is this file. There is also a dedicated source repo which you can look at for more information, the target audience, other projects that use it. But in a nutshell, the Komorebi license does not permit any kind of commercial use, which is basically using Komorebi at work. It is a personal use only license, and especially over the past year as this software has exploded in popularity, we've had people in the issues and the discussions in the Discord, on Reddit even, reaching out to me saying, hey, I really love the software, I really want to use it at work, I can't use it at work because of the license, can you introduce a commercial license? I will pay for it, I'll get my employer to pay for it, this is a game changer and I need to use it at work. I've told everybody who's been asking me for the commercial license to just hold on a little bit until 2025, and now 2025 is here, and the commercial use license is also here. The reason I said to hold on until 2025 is that this will now complicate my tax reporting situation, I think significantly, but because I've put it off until 2025, I don't have to deal with that until 2026. So that was the reason behind the delay. So we have a blurb here about the licensing for commercial use, and there's a link here that will take you to this dedicated page where all of the licensing information is. It is a subscription-based license, either monthly or annually billed, and assuming, I'll just read all this out, assuming 252 working days per year, 21 average working days per month, and 40-hour working weeks, the license cost works out to 48 cents per working day when billed monthly, and 44 cents when billed annually. So whichever way you cut it, it's less than 50 cents per working day. Not calendar day, that's working day. I hope that you will think that is worth it. If you don't, I'm sorry that you don't. Maybe check out Glaze WM and what are the other ones? There's Juno, there's Vim. I'll leave a whole bunch of links, but there is a lot of variety in the space on Windows these days. So feel free to try out different options if licensing is not for you. If licensing is for you, many employers reimburse software licensing costs, so you might not even have to pay for this out of pocket. Submit a reimbursement request with your receipt, and if your employer accepts the reimbursement request, please let me know so that I can update this page with a list of employers who are known to reimburse the licensing costs for Komorebi. Because then, more and more people can look, like when they come to this page, and they can know, oh, cool, I can just reimburse this. Yeah, this is hopefully the first step towards making this project fully self-sustaining, self-sufficient. Depending on how long you've been following me, you may or may not know that I've been working on this for half a decade now. That's crazy. This has been going for half a decade. And, this is something that I'm probably going to work on as long as I can write code, right? It's like my primary way of interacting with a computer. So it would be really, really cool to be able to work on this full time. My overall goal, right, is to be able to make Komorebi completely cross-platform. That means Komorebi for Windows, Komorebi for Linux, Komorebi for Mac OS, one window manager, one configuration that just travels with you whichever machine you're working on. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, something that you want to support, the best way to do that is by buying a dedicated individual commercial use license. So enough on that. I hope you will support that. If you have any questions, please reach out to me on the Discord, on Blue Sky, wherever, and I'll help you out where I can. Okay, we have so many bug fixes in this release. The vast majority of these bug fixes are related to the Komorebi bar and live configuration updates. I don't think there's anything particularly interesting to go into here. Yeah. There's one I want to highlight. In the last video, I caught a bug in the close workspace command that has been fixed. That was a little embarrassing. But I think we can move straight on to the features. Oh, wait, before we move on to the features, I promised a very, very special shout out to my new friends at Valtown. So I had a little exchange with Valtown on Blue Sky. Here it is. So since I started selling the licenses, I thought it would be cool to be able to send notifications to the Discord every time somebody buys a license. And I'd heard of this service called Valtown. It's a pretty new service. It's run by this guy, Steve Krause, and it's growing really cool. I'm probably going to make a separate video on it, but I used Valtown to set up this webhook integration. Super cool. And then I kind of went off the hook a little bit, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to do this every time someone becomes a GitHub sponsor. I'm going to send a message on the Discord automatically. And I said the first person to trigger that one would get a special shout out in the next release overview video, which is this one. Steve is very savvy in marketing. He immediately sent over $5 as a GitHub sponsor. Valtown was the first person to trigger this, the first company, I guess, to trigger this. So special shout out to Valtown. You can, if you're like in the same kind of space as me, where you're kind of techie and you have like an online community and you take some form of transactions, I have a whole bunch of vals on my Valtown, which you can pretty much just fork and put in your own variables for. So every time You get a Stripe subscription, send a Discord notification, that's here. Every time you get a GitHub sponsor, send a Discord notification, you can fork this one. And every time you get a Ko-Fi donation, send a Discord notification. That webhook is here as well. But yeah, thanks Valtown. That was a really, really easy process. And stay tuned, subscribe to the channel for a dedicated video on this, because this is probably one of the most interesting services that I have seen come up in the webhook space since If This Then That. You might not remember that if you're a bit younger, but back in my day, that was a really cool service. All right, features. All right. The first feature that I've wanted this for a long time, it is adding an eager focus command. And what that does is, let's just get the command help up here. It will focus the first managed window matching the given exe. So this is looking through the entire state tree of the window manager, and it's going to find whatever you want it to find on any workspace, on any monitor. Then it will jump to that monitor and that workspace, and it will focus that window. So let's say okay, this is Discord. Discord is open on the chat workspace. Let's go back to personal. I'm going to send this command, eager focus discord.exe. Boom, takes me straight there. I don't have to think about which workspace is it on. Do I need to go left or right or wherever from the currently focused window on that workspace? Just takes you straight there. You can bind this with WHKD, with auto hotkey. You can even add now a shortcut on your Stream Deck if you have a Stream Deck. Check out the last video for the Komorebi Stream Deck plugin. I think it's a really simple thing, but it makes a really big difference, because like then you can have, what's the word I'm looking for? Mnemonic hotkeys. Like I could assign this to like Alt, Shift, and D for Discord. Yeah, I think if you're like a Vim user, this will probably resonate with you. So that is cool feature number one. This one is not a big feature, but I noticed from looking at the download stats that not everybody always gets notified of the latest update whenever a new release goes out. So now when you run komorebi c start, it will take a look and it'll see, hey, do we have a new release available? And if we do have new release available, you'll just get a little message at the end of the start command, an updated version of Komorebi is available, and it'll give you the link. So I think that will be useful, and hopefully it will get more and more people on the latest release with the latest features, so everybody can enjoy them at the same time. That was feature number 2. This is feature number 3. I hate this feature. I'm going to be real with all of you. I absolutely hate this feature. I don't know why people want this feature, but I give the people what they want. I give the people what they want. Komorebi is a tiling window manager for the people. So we got to do a little bit of history. Basically, if you wanted to remove title bars, I have heavily discouraged this for a long time, because it just breaks stuff, and a lot of apps don't even respect the Win32 title bars anymore. You had to do a command. What was that command? I think it was remove title bar. You had to run this, and there was no static configuration option for this. And then you would run toggle title bars, and it would remove all of the ones that you have allow listed. Now you can, I can't type today. Now you can actually specify those allow listed things here. So you have new configuration option, remove title bar applications. It takes the full range of matches, but generally you want to match on the executable file, and then you can bind this command, toggle title bars, to turn them on and off. I am not going to demo this because it breaks stuff. There's like maybe some really niche use cases for this, but my official recommendation is to just make peace with the title bars. You will be a lot happier if you just make peace with the title bars. So that was not a cool feature. I'm not giving that one a number. So this is the next cool feature, which is allow the reapplication of initial workspace rules. So initial workspace rules, I gotta get this back up. Initial workspace rules only apply once per komorebi session, right? So if I move Discord here, it can move here because when Discord first launched on this session, the rule was applied. But some people wanted a command where you could just reinforce those workspace rules. Komorebi c enforce workspace rules, I believe, is the new command that will do that. Nope, that is not it. What is the command? Oh, rules, plural. So I just hit it, it sent it back to the chat workspace where it is assigned. I think this is pretty useful for some people who have like lots and lots of windows and a lot of initial rules, and they have to move things around and they have to move them back manually. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. So now you can bind this to hotkey and it will move all your windows back wherever you have assigned them in the initial workspace rules. By the way, I did want to mention, I have Discord open for a reason. You should take a look at this forum in the Komorebi community Discord. It is called Rice Baby, and it is full of lots of delicious rice. This has been going for like more than a year now, and people are just posting their rices and their configs and giving each other inspiration. A lot of really cool stuff here, so come and check it out. If you have a beautiful, beautiful bowl of rice, post it in the Discord, post the config, the dots. A lot of people will be very happy. I'll be very happy. I love, like, one of the first things I do when I come onto the Discord server is I look for new rices. I don't rice very much, but I live vicariously through your rices. So yeah, check that out. Rice Baby. And who knows, if you're interested, leave a comment if you're interested. Should I rate these rices? We can make a new series on the channel. Rate my rice. Rice Baby in parentheses. Let me know. I think that could be a pretty fun series, but I don't know. I give the people what they want, so if this is something that the people want, we can look into that series. All right, so that was, I've lost count of what number feature that is. That was a cool feature. There are now 2 new display format types on the bar config, and I think Alex left. Yeah. So Alex has put a illustrative image here. So there are 2 new display format types. Text and icon on selected, icon on text and selected. This is what they do. I don't really use them, but I know a couple of people have already started using them and they're very, very happy. So yeah, check it out. If you like it, let me know. Put it in Rice Baby even, yeah, this is the next cool feature. And I think this is going to be the final one. This is, I guess it's more of a feature for people who are developing, but it is also kind of useful for everybody. So, all right, let's go back a little bit. When people set rules, they don't want to have every single window tied to a specific workspace. And sometimes it happens that you have to restart komorebi. And if you've done some manual manipulation of the workspaces, you've put different windows on different workspaces on different monitors, and you have to restart, and you don't have rules for them, all of those applications that don't have rules, when you restart, they'll end up on your primary workspace, which is not great if you just wanted to do a quick restart and then like this happened. Like, why did this happen? Right? And now you have to go and you have to move everything back to where it was manually. Not great. So now komorebi will take a snapshot when it closes, and when it restarts, it will compare that snapshot with the new state of the world. If all of the windows in the snapshot still exist, it will reapply that snapshot. So I guess, how can I illustrate this? I'm not sure that I can. Just take my word for it. Whenever you next stop and start komorebi like this, your windows will stay in place. You'll see. It's pretty cool. And this is especially useful for people who are developing on komorebi. Those are the people, like myself, we have to restart komorebi the most. And if you're working on something specific, something niche, if you have docs or something else up, it's just nice to not have to retweak the workspace layout every single time you restart. So yeah, that is the final cool feature that I wanted to take a look at today. Oof, it has been a hell of a year already. That is version 0.1.32. I'm like, today is Thursday the 9th. I think tomorrow I'm gonna cut a hotfix release. I know, just another little release with a bunch of things that some people noticed, and I would rather fix them sooner rather than later. These bug fixes, I'll make a little video about that as well. But all those issues are pinned here. They're fixed on the main master branch, but I think it would be nice to get a little release out for those. All right, my friends, it is time. Why don't we say thank you to the sponsors? That's not right. Oh, but by the way, if you are interested in the financials behind having GitHub sponsorship enabled, I did a GitHub sponsorship breakdown for 2024 where I go through just like the whole breakdown of sponsorship payouts month by month. I talk a little bit about YouTube and the monetization and all of that sort of stuff that happened last year. If you are interested in pursuing this, like, writing software, building a community, trying to make a living on sponsorship, I think it's worth checking out. But that was not where I was intending to navigate to. I wanted to go here. Here we go. And I think I need to open this up in a private window so that I don't accidentally dox the private sponsors. All right, damn, 37 sponsors. That's crazy. Yeah, thank you all so much. And by the way, just before I start, if you are currently a sponsor and you have been ignoring the license and using komorebi at work, I know there are a couple of you. Please do switch over to that license because you cannot get reimbursed for being a sponsor, right, from your employer. And it just helps me get a better idea of the stats of, people who are using it for personal use and sponsoring versus people who are using it for commercial use and buying a license. So why don't we start from right to left with Azine. Thank you, Azine. One of the longest sponsors that we have had for Komorebi, and one of the most active in reporting issues. A lot of bugs that have been fixed, especially like the really niche ones where people are using virtualized displays, they've been reported by Azine, and Azine has had a lot of patience in working with me to fix those. Thank you also to Sayandeep, David, Thomas, Chris, Timothy, James, Pavel, Felipe, private sponsor number 1, Valtown. Hey, special shout out to Valtown. Private sponsor number 2, Andrew, Johan, Eli. Damn, this I think I said this last time. Eli Pinkerton is such a cool name. Thank you, Eli. Johan again, different Johan. Cody, Nia, private sponsor number 3. Alex, who has done a lot of work, especially all of those fixes that you saw on like the bar configuration, hot loading. Pretty much all of that was Alex and CT Byte. So special shout out to Alex as well. Thank you to Eber, Chris, Malco, Purian. So I got corrected on the pronunciation. It is not Purian, it is Purian. Thank you, Purian. You can also catch him on, actually I'm not sure about the gender of this person. You can catch Purian on the Discord, who's very active and a very happy member of the community. He makes the community a happy place, I think. Thank you to Harold, Andy, PJHFGGIJ, Hyro, DM1681, Darian, Surefire, Kilroy, my boy, Evan, Nicholas, Alex, Solomon, and of course the very, very, very first sponsor of Komorebi, my friend Hisayuki Mima from Tokyo, Japan. Alright, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that you will enjoy the new release of Komorebi. I hope that those of you who are using Komorebi for personal use will buy a commercial use license. And you know what? I am just absolutely wiped from this week. It has been a really long week, so I'm gonna... My tea went cold while I was recording this video, so I'm gonna go and brew a fresh batch of tea and sit down and relax. My friends, I hope that whatever you all do today, you have a great day. Free Palestine, and I'll see you all back here next time.